It's happening to thousands of Americans right now. Today, we're diving into a new piece of legislation that could finally bring some relief: the Social Security Overpayment Relief Act. You'll learn exactly what this bill proposes, how it could impact your monthly benefits, and what steps you should take to protect yourself. There's a lot at stake here, especially if you or someone you love depends on these payments. Stick with us until the end, because we're also going to share some powerful tools and resources that could save you real money and help you make smarter decisions around Social Security and Medicare. Welcome to Financial Area, your trusted source for clear, reliable financial news. If you find this video helpful, make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss an important update. The recent introduction of the Social Security Overpayment Relief Act comes in response to a growing crisis among beneficiaries. For years, recipients have been blindsided by unexpected letters from the Social Security Administration informing them of alleged overpayments, sometimes dating back a decade or more. These notices often demand repayment of thousands of dollars, even when the error was on the administration's end. In many cases, seniors on fixed incomes have seen their benefits garnished or completely eliminated, plunging them into financial distress with little warning. This new legislation aims to correct part of that injustice. One of the most significant provisions of the bill is the restriction placed on how far back the SSA can go to collect overpayments. If passed, the agency would be barred from reclaiming funds that were overpaid more than 10 years ago. For many, this change could mean the difference between a manageable retirement and a financial nightmare. It's a move toward fairness, recognizing that it's unreasonable to penalize individuals for clerical errors that happened so long ago they barely remember the details. However, not everyone agrees that a 10-year cutoff is enough. Advocates argue that the window should be much shorter, 1 or 2 years at most, to ensure that people aren't living under the constant threat of repayment demands decades after the fact. Still, despite its imperfections, the bill represents a critical shift in how the system treats overpayment claims. It acknowledges that the burden of error should not fall entirely on the people least equipped to handle it. Under current Social Security regulations, many beneficiaries have found themselves in an unimaginable situation. Their monthly checks are being garnished, in some cases entirely, due to overpayment claims. These sudden reductions leave individuals, many of whom rely solely on Social Security for survival, without enough money to cover rent, buy groceries, or pay for medications. It's not just a policy issue. It's a crisis of basic human needs. The worst part is that many of these overpayments stem from administrative mistakes or miscommunications made years ago, not from any intentional wrongdoing by recipients. The proposed legislation attempts to address this by changing how overpayments are recovered. One of its most impactful features is the limitation on full benefit garnishments. In recent years, some recipients have had their entire checks withheld, as the SSA attempted to recover large sums all at once. The new bill aims to reduce this burden, making it harder for the agency to take 100% of a beneficiary's monthly income. Instead, the hope is to create a fairer system, one that still allows the SSA to recover funds, but not at the complete expense of a person's livelihood. However, there's still a critical flaw. While the bill introduces a 10-year limit on collections, it doesn't fully eliminate the practice of complete garnishment. That means if an overpayment falls within the 10-year window, the SSA could, in some cases, still take an individual's entire benefit. This detail has sparked concern among advocates who fear that the proposed relief may only go so far. They argue that no one should ever lose 100% of their Social Security income, no matter when the overpayment occurred. The legislation, though a step forward, still leaves space for potentially harmful outcomes, unless further revisions are made. For those already affected, this bill represents more than policy. It's hope. If passed, it could help restore monthly income for thousands, maybe millions, who have been forced to live without their full benefits. It also sets a precedent that overpayment issues deserve thoughtful and humane solutions, not just bureaucratic enforcement. Still, the exact impact will depend on how the law is implemented. and whether future changes continue to prioritize the well-being of beneficiaries. As this new legislation gains attention, it's more important than ever for beneficiaries to take proactive steps to understand and manage their Social Security and Medicare options. Too often, individuals approaching retirement are overwhelmed by the complexity of enrollment decisions and miss out on programs or plans that could save them thousands. Navigating Medicare alone can be confusing, especially when balancing costs, coverage, and prescription benefits. That's why professional guidance isn't just helpful, it's essential. One highly recommended resource is a service called Chapter, which connects individuals with licensed Medicare advisors at no cost. These professionals help retirees and soon-to-be retirees evaluate all available options and identify